If you don't already know, I am doing an $8 million shark card giveaway over on my Twitter, so if you want to check that out, the link will be in the description below. So I know the Nightclub DLC has been out for about a week now, but I have still seen a ton of people ask about the Nightclub business and how it works, how you can make money, and I thought I would tell you guys about one really important thing regarding the Nightclub business and making money with it. Because if you don't realize this one thing, then you're not going to have a good time with this DLC or with the money-making part of this DLC. And that one really important thing is that having a nightclub business is really only good for players who own a ton of the other businesses in the game. If you only own one or two of the other businesses, this nightclub business isn't really going to do much. And the reason is because this nightclub business has a very, very low payout per hour. However, the trade-off is that you really don't need to do anything. You pay straight up front, and then you sell in the end. But there's no worrying, there's no going out getting supplies, there's no paying money during the production to get everything working. So what that means is that it will take you a really, really long time to have any sort of return on investment. This nightclub business by itself is not going to be making you money for quite some time, especially if you bought a lot of the upgrades to the nightclub. And I'll explain more about that in a second, but that's like the one thing you should know, and I'll get into the details here. But looking at my nightclub page, you can see, since I only set this up yesterday, I believe, I only have $53,000 that I can sell. Now, unfortunately, I don't, for whatever reason, have my cocaine business up and running, so that's why it is locked here. And I only have 3 businesses, it appears. I guess I don't own any of these other ones that are locked. So I only have 3 technicians working, although I will probably go get my cocaine one up and running to get 4. And obviously that'll speed this up a little bit and I'll make a little bit more money. But at the moment I only have 3. I have the cargo, the sporting goods, which I believe is from the gun running, and then the weed business. But I don't have a cash, the money making one. I don't have whatever the printing, the forgery business, and I don't have the meth lab. One thing I do have, and I would really recommend this even though it costs a ton of money, but it makes your life easier, makes things go a lot quicker, is purchasing the equipment upgrades and the staff upgrades. The security one isn't too important. This is only really for raids, but if you want to make more money quicker, these 2 are the ones you're going to want to purchase. Now, just averaging it out, if you were to purchase a mid-range nightclub, like a $1.5 million one, and then you purchased all 5 of the technicians, because you maybe, let's say, have 5 businesses, you purchase these upgrades, the equipment and the staff upgrades, and you purchase the 5 or 4 levels that you can get to have the most amount of product, that's going to cost you around $6 million. And if you spent more on the nightclub part, customizing and upgrading that, then you're going to be pushing 7, 8, 9, maybe even $10 million. So you're spending a lot up front for this nightclub. And unfortunately, it's going to take a while if you just expect the nightclub business to make you all that money back. So if you're wondering, a full nightclub business, if you were to have 5 of these businesses going, you have 5 of the technicians on them, it would take you roughly 66 hours, I believe, to get a full warehouse or a full nightclub warehouse. And that averages out to like $1.7 million in product, and then you can go out and sell it. But that is 66 hours in real life. So that's almost 3 straight days of waiting just for $1.7 million. And that doesn't take into account the 10% that Tony takes with this business. So if your nightclub initially cost you like $6, $7, $8 million, that's going to take you almost 2 weeks, 2 straight weeks to wait for a full warehouse to give you the amount of money to make your money back. But you shouldn't actually be waiting until it is full. That's like the one thing I've seen a lot of people get confused about. You should actually be selling around 20-ish hours, and I'll explain where that number comes from, and I'll show you guys in a second. But around 20 hours is how you can maximize the amount of money you make. Taking a look at this graph, we can see the product, the business, like what it's from, the max amount of stock you can get. This is a really handy little graph, and it actually shows you how much these things make per hour. And that's really the important part. On the right, you can see it's a very low number, but since you can only have 5 technicians running at once, having 5 of them on the top 5 businesses gets you around 41,000 per hour. Very, very low. And you can see why. Most of these take a really long time just to get one unit. Like the cocaine, the South American imports, it takes 2 hours just to get one unit, and that is not good at all. But taking a look at this is really what shows you how long it takes in real life time to get a full stack of a certain product. So for the Coke one, I believe it's at the bottom, the South American imports, it's going to take you about 40 hours or so to get you to full. Now where the 20 hours comes in is the cash creation and the meth, the pharmaceutical research. You can see both of those, they get full in about 20 hours. And the reason you should sell after 20 hours is so you don't have a technician being wasted. Once your product gets full and you have a technician on it, then he's just sitting there doing nothing while all the other ones go up. So if you don't want to be wasting time, that's why you should sell at 20 hours. And at 20 hours, you can see towards the bottom, you get about $830,000 before the fees. I believe with the 10%, that's like $750,000-ish. And then if you just do some math, divide that by 20, it comes out to about $37,000 per hour. So it's very, very low. So basically, the max that you can get from this nightclub business per hour is only $37,000-ish. Now, there are the extra things you can do. There's the little special sell missions that you get like a 5% bonus, and look, obviously that'll add up. And I think there's a lobby bonus like most of the other businesses where if you're in a fuller lobby, you get a little bit more money. But for the most part, let's just say on average, the max you get is about $37,000 per hour. And you can just see from that why it's going to take a really long time to make your money back with just this nightclub business. I think someone sort of did a little math, and they said that if your nightclub, just for instance, cost like $6 million, and if you were only doing this nightclub business, which made you $37,000 per hour, it would take you around 160 hours to make your money back. And if you averaged about 3 hours per day, that it would take you about 54 days to make your money back. And if you AFK'd for 6 hours while you slept or whatever, and then you also played for 3 hours per day, it would still take you 18 days to make your money back. So I think that's why a lot of people are upset about this business. You really don't make money. Maybe looking back on it in a couple of months, people will be a little bit happier because they will be in the green, so to speak. They will be actually making money instead of just trying to return on the investment they made. So I think that's like the one important thing people didn't realize or should realize about this nightclub business. It's not really like any of the other passive incomes or passive income businesses where while they aren't the greatest payouts, they're still a decent payout. This one really isn't a good payout. And it's only gonna help you out if you have all of those other businesses and you're willing to wait 2, 3, 4 months to make your money back. In conclusion, the last thing I'll say about the nightclub business is that it's cool and it's hassle-free production. You don't need to do anything. And actually, one of the best points I didn't mention in this video is that the deliveries are done solo. Even if you have a full thing, it's all in one vehicle. You can do it by yourself. And it's in a vehicle that you can actually customize. So you get some benefits there. However, the trade-off is that they don't pay good at all. So let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about the nightclub business now knowing what I just mentioned and after having messed around with them for about a week now? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Are you fine with that trade-off that I just mentioned? Or do you wish that they actually would pay out money like all the other businesses in the game. Thank you all for watching. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy, subscribe for more awesome GTA content, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one.